It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Tokpe Mark Odige, and as usual, I have my co-host on the show. I want to especially welcome my guest co-host. Her name is Omolara Kudaisi. This is your first time on the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's good to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
What should we know about you? A few exciting facts.
Okay, I'm an author. I'm a therapist.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and I wrote my last book called How the Matchmaker's Marriage Failed.
When you say last book, it makes me feel like you've had many books.
No, that's my third book.
That's still many books. That's interesting. So that means you're a life coach.
Yes, a therapist.
Cool. Yeah. Good to have you. This is Open House Thursday with gist. So it's really nice to have that perspective of a therapist. You know, I'm on the fence of life coach. No, I'm not a life coach. No, I don't want to coach. On the show today, I'm not coaching. So some people will watch and say, but she's a coach. On the show, I'm not a coach. Mariam, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. It's been a fantastic 1 month past in January and February. I've been doing my lifestyle with ML, as you know, which is to help people with weight loss. We finished our January class, which was a success as usual. As usual. I
like
mean,
you can say
time,
that now.
I can always say
and
that.
I saw the feedback.
And then and then now we've gone on to the next one. We started the next one in February, and I have lots of people asking to join. I'm just grateful that, you know, sometimes they say you need to be strategic with the way you do your business, and sometimes for me, I just go with passion and how I really want to, you know, who I am, and that's it. I'm just who I am.
Enjoying your life.
And people see that and want and relate with that and want to be a part of it. So I know strategy is good, but sometimes I think
what you haven't done is specifically say what you do, which is you help people deal with weight loss.
Lifestyle with ML is a weight loss program. Didn't I say that? I did.
Because someone saw me yesterday. She came to do the decoration for my photo shoot, and she didn't know I was a makeup artist. She saw me do makeup, and she was shocked. Okay. And I said, I said, I'm your fan. I said, if you're not my fan, if you don't know I do makeup. She said she feels I'm representing a brand, like, you know, you're marketing for another company that she doesn't know I do it myself.
The time,
and then you have to still say it again. Our Nima is a lawyer.
Please.
I am a lawyer.
Time job.
And a rice seller.
But
I'm
not happy doing divorce, so please settle your marriage. Or be clear before you marry. Let me say properties. Thank you.
It can be emotionally draining.
Yes, it is. It's almost getting to me these days. I wanted to talk about people who, you know the way these Lagosians, when you're lost and you're asking for someone. So I had given someone directions to my office opposite the arena on the Magige Motor Road. And someone knew that she was lost and said to her, just be going towards Mushin like that. You'll find the way. But that's Lagos. So she got lost. And people do it a lot. This morning I still got a report from someone else that, Auntie, that's how they told me too. I should go there. So I don't know how you feel doing that. Whatever it is that you're dealing with, that you think, let me just push this person, let me lost and small, it's not going to get you anything. You get nothing from it. Watching a person get lost in Lagos. If you don't know, say I don't know. If you do know, please just get the benefit of at least feeling good that you led someone, helped someone correctly. Because I don't understand. The arena is one place. It's very big. You know it and then you mislead someone to Mushin. What is that?
That's really bad. That's really, really bad.
That's
deliberately harming someone else. I feel that yesterday for me was pretty hectic. I did a photo shoot. Yeah, I did a photo shoot. But, you know, I just realized that as much as there are people that would deliberately hurt someone, there are many people that would collaborate with you and rally around you when you say, I want to do something. And that was what showed up. You know, just on Instagram, people I've never met before, probably had seen me on the show or probably don't even know me at all, were willing to step up and say, oh, let's do this collaboration. I think that the future of our businesses lies in collaboration. I'm planning to do something about it, like a WhatsApp class, to help you understand how to leverage collaboration. Because sometimes you go and meet someone that I feel your business and my business can work together. Anybody selling food should partner with Mariam to sell lifestyle, good, healthy food to our clients. You need to be able to forge such collaborations with people in sister businesses to spread your marketing, you know, and it won't cost you much to do that. So let's think on that as business owners. We'll be going on a break right now. When we return, we'll take the top stories in the newspaper, but rush through it so we can get to the gist for today. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. It's Front Page News for today, and we'll be starting off with The Nation. Major headline, and somebody asterisked twice so that we don't miss it. Chopper shot, 250 killed in police bandit forest battle. The pilot injured, fighter jet gets hit. ISWAP, I'm trying to get the full meaning of ISWAP, but ISWAP members, Jonathan fired me for probing oil racketeers, says ex-EFCC chair. Waziri exposes Anyim Akunyili's role. Yar'Adua's better in graft fight, she says. Okada ban, 34 held as police cyclists clash in Lagos. And Kwara Labour disagree.
So,
Can Islamic Council disagree on killings? Presidency warns. Makinde 6 out of court settlement with sacked chairman. Igalo, proud to be first Nigerian Man U player, striker, it's a dream. So Igalo is my in-law's name. I shouldn't bastardize kind of name because it's an Edo name.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, but I know that they always, one is off, but what story are we taking? The major headline?
major headline. So the
happened?
Nigerian police, through Operation Puff Harder, were able to curtail the excesses of bandits and terrorists in the Kaduna area of Nigeria. And they brought, unfortunately, the terrorists had a weapon they called a sophisticated anti-aircraft rifle that they shot at the chopper with. And they brought down that chopper, but fortunately, men were not killed. They were just injured, and so it was a good one. They were able to get about 250 of them. These people have been terrorizing that area.
This was the one they pre-informed us about.
Yes.
That they were going to use, the
Yes.
presidency and the military said they were going to be using
yes.
choppers to attack this particular forest
Yes.
area that they cannot, it's not motorable.
Yes,
So
and they were,
Hamatan, they were saying that they usually
it was
the
for-
Hamatan haze was stopping them from doing that regular
Raid.
flight.
yes.
Where they check where all their from the sky you can see where they are. So
But
I
you
think they're
know,
able to do that now. The Hamatan
If not
is
that the
over.
story had mentioned that the ISIS West Africa, whatever, was affected, I would
That's
have
the
thought,
ISWAP.
where did they get
That kind of weapon from.
But then,
Yes.
ISIS
So
is
former EFCC chairman Mrs. Farida Waziri has written a book, and in the book she's telling all. And some of the things that she said, she talked about the fight against corruption under the late Yar'Adua, and also the former president, Goodluck Jonathan. And she said, she hates to compare, but if she were to compare, since she worked under two presidents, she would say that the Yar'Adua administration was much more really interested in fighting that war. She said she was actually sacked because she had wanted to arrest some oil racketeers, and she was called by the presidency and asked not to do that. And that there were just people also didn't like her in there, and that she remembers Dora Akunyili had said to her, see, it seems like the president is going to sack you, why don't you go and beg him? And she was like, see, this is against what I stand for and my moral convictions. I am not going to.
That's a good book. That's a book I'd like to
The
read.
president actually, Jonathan had called her and said to her that, would you like to go and rest for some? And she said to him, sir, do you want to sack me? She said no. But she just said a whole lot of things. I think it would be good to read the book and see how Yar'Adua did better
than Jonathan.
Jonathan.
I want to quickly take the Oyo story, following up on what's happening in Oyo. The governor of Oyo State is seeking out-of-court settlement. This, based on reports and having to investigate further, I realized that they've had issues with this election that happened in May 12, 2018 from the inception. PDP boycotted that election, claiming that they had a court injunction. So there are many issues around that election right from the get-go. But the fact that one person has died in trying to bring them back into power should make the governor seek peace. So, and I'm happy that he's already making the move to settle this amicably. Moving on to the Punch. Major headline, we have insecurity. Can NSCIA clash? US ask federal government to protect Nigerians. Northern group unveils regional security outfit symbol. Operation Shege Fasa. Shege Kafasa.
Shege Kafasa or
Shege Kafasa. Thank you. You are Northern and you're on the show.
She's on.
I started like I'm saying the Yoruba word. Sorry, I apologize.
Not about Echo.
We killed 250 Ansaru terrorists in Kaduna Forest. Cult clashes, claim 7 in Rivers, many injured. Olubado talks tough warns about the controversial monarchs. OAU hands over lecturer to police for sexually harassing students. Okada ban. Schoolgirl shot. Lasma police vehicle destroyed. Local government crisis. Makinde opts for an out-of-court settlement. Senate IG seek implementation of community policing. Coronavirus. Our lives in danger. Nigerians in Wuhan cry out. Deaths exceeds revenue in 36 states. That includes Lagos. FCT says the FRC. And subscribers may be restricted to 3 lines. Okay, so what are we talking about? Shege Kapasa.
Okay, go on.
Okay, I'd like to take the clash, the Okada ban in Iyanokwaja yesterday. It was, you know, when I was reading, I actually saw it on, yes, very deadly. I saw it on social media first, and I was wondering what's going on, you know. But what they reported was that those police officers went into the shops of Okada dealers. You know, and that's not what the government sent them to do.
Exactly.
You know, they went to arrest the people and to collect their Okadas. And those people
that were not on the road.
That were not on the road, it was in the shops. And those people, of course, what do you expect? This is their hard-earned money. They don't know if the ban will be lifted. They don't know what's going to happen to them, you know, and they resisted. And then before you know it, they burnt a police patrol van and people were shooting and dying. And then a schoolgirl, you know, that was just going on a stray bullet, you know, just met that girl. And she lost her life.
No, the story didn't say that. The story said she's injured, so she's still alive.
And just to make it clear, the shots came from the police, so it wasn't like a back and forth.
So the same thing, the escalating method.
Yeah, so first of all, there was a protest. They said that, actually, from eyewitness account, they said that they were protesting and there were no guns, no sticks, no stones, nothing. But when the police came, they started shooting into the air and throwing tear gas canisters at them. Then area boys joined the protesters, and they came with rocks that they were throwing at them. And the gunshot was a stray bullet as usual. A student of secondary school walking by here. But we don't know if anything, they said, the hospital said they received her and they referred her to the general hospital.
So at a point somewhere, some people's shops were the police went to some people's shops
to get
while some were
so the
protesting.
protest was based on that.
On that happening.
Yes.
I would have liked the governor to speak on this because things are getting a bit out of hand.
I'd expect him to say something.
Yes.
And he said he's not backing down.
Nigerians in Wuhan, what's going on
about
with them?
60 Nigerians in Wuhan have been calling for help to get evacuation, to leave China back home. And they said that the death toll from the coronavirus in China has increased to 490 from 300 and something. And so they get scared the more because it's killing people quickly. But the Nigerian Federal House of Reps has voted against bringing them home. According to the lawmaker who voted against it, Benjamin Okeze, he said that China has better facility to curtail coronavirus than Nigeria. And since they are there, they should remain there until they battle the infection or illness of the virus.
Moving on to the next paper, Daily Sun. Major headline, insecurity, Northern Coalition plans Operation Shege Kafasa. Agrees to float joy security outfits. Bandits shoot police helicopter in Kaduna. Forum raises concern over drones at Ikeja Airport. IGP Lawan Gbadabiamila shout over insecurity. We can't pretend about worsening situation, says Speaker. Lassa fever. NCDC has managed 365 cases, that's from the DG, and Idioha hires 30 lawyers to fight for SAC's reversal. So, the new coalition.
So don't feel bad, because even I'm not sure. I know it's Shege Kapasa or is it Shege Kapasa? I'm not sure, but it's supposed to mean that if you dare, that's what it means. And unlike the Amotekun group, this is a group that came up on its own. It's called the Coalition of Northern Group. So you know the Amotekun is the Southwest governors that came together, but this is a group of people that came together and named themselves the Coalition of Northern Group. And they are prepared, they want to do something like the Amotekun to protect the northern region from all the cases of kidnapping and banditry, and they are asking the governors to adopt them or be a part of it, but nothing from that from them yet. And they say if they do not hear from them, they're taking it straight to National Assembly and get the legal backing for such.
Why are drones flying over Ikeja?
A forum just raised that the other day. You know, that there are drones flying, and then they arrested the man who was controlling it.
Okay.
You know, they kept him somewhere, but they said they released him over a phone call from an unknown person. But
Nigeria, the power of phone calls.
Yes,
Who
yes.
you know.
So they released him. But somebody from the government has come to say that it must be something that has to do with the government. You know, it's a weaponized drone.
Weaponized one?
Yes. So that maybe they want to use it against, you know, terrorist groups and stuff like that. You know, that they will, you know, go through it and make sure they see it to the last. But we don't know.
So we don't know who it is.
We don't know who it is. We don't know what it's for. We don't know where it's coming from.
So there's nobody that checks.
You know, so people, yes, people are scared now because yes, very worrisome.
Moving on to Nigeria Tribune, major headline: battle against Ansari terror group in Kaduna. Police chopper shot, 250 bandits killed, pilots injured, hospitalized. Fire at Ayede's substation. Power supply to Ibadan, Shagamu, Ijebu-Ode, Iseyin. Others affected. TCN, that's the transmission, assures on quick power restoration. Female student shot, policeman, others injured as Okada riders, police clash in Lagos. And 23-year-old boy stabs parents to death, leaves sister half dead. So let's talk about the 23-year-old boy. What's going on?
Okay, so this 23-year-old young man suspected to be under the influence of drugs stabbed all 3 family members of his after most likely an argument in the house, and is on the run. But the police have promised to pick him up. Both parents died from it. The younger sister is still alive, but under serious conditions. And this happened in Ejigbo in Lagos yesterday. So the police have promised that they will get him.
So neighbors say that he's actually someone who's like a drug addict and has caused his parents problems for a long time. He's been rusticated from 3 private universities before this incident happened.
He may already even be having mental health issues, but they're not paying attention to it.
That's a sad challenge.
That's a sad one. So the
what
TCN,
happened, the fire?
Yes, the TCN substation in Ayade caught fire yesterday, and this station serves Ogun, Osun, and Oyo. And they tried to put it out, but they suspect that the transmitter oil or whatever it is that they usually put is the reason why it's not been able to be quelled. So they've been at it, and hopefully it will be done. They don't know what caused it, but we'll find out later.
Last paper for today, the Vanguard. The major headline: declare security emergency now. NSCIA tells Buhari. But the story we haven't taken is police file terrorism charges against Wadume, Army captain, others. And I think that we need to quickly update that before we
So finally, Wadume has been charged under about 16 counts, which borders around terrorism and murder. And himself, along with 12 other people, were charged for these offenses. Hopefully...
These 12 people are...
Yes, the soldiers,
a
corporal, a staff sergeant, a private corporal, all of them, and their names, I just wanted to save time to not read them out. But hopefully we'll get justice for the 3 slain police officers that were killed to get him, to let him escape.
That's all we can take on Front Page Review for today. Next, we commemorate today as the World International Day for Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Female genital mutilation comprises all procedures that involve altering or injuring the female genitalia for non-medical reasons and is recognized internationally as a violation of the human right, the health and integrity of a woman and girls. Our guest today will be enlightening us on the progress so far. Joining us on the show is the Assistant Head of Media Initiative for Girls and Health Development, Damilola Amao. Right.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So we've discussed it every year. Like the past 7 years or 6 years I've been on this show, every year we talk about this issue because we're women and we can't be found shying away from this.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that people hearing this over and over again understand that this is a violation.
Yes.
So can you break down why it is a violation? Because we see it, many of those that are doing it see it as a cultural thing. It's like saying don't cut your hair or don't weave a woman's hair. That's the way they see it. So how do we break it down to those watching right now that still feel like if I have a daughter tomorrow, I'm carrying her to the village and we're going to do this thing to make sure she's a complete woman?
Okay, all right. Female genital mutilation, just like you said, involves cutting the female genitalia. And if you would accept with me, I think over time, I heard some time ago that the reason for that is basically to prevent promiscuity. Yes.
Try.
So they believe if you are circumcised, that's if you're caught, you are clean as a woman and you're marriageable. Yes. Research has it that is what our traditional rulers believe. So they see the uncircumcised as being unclean. So in this case, we are coming out now to campaign against FGM to tell them that it is not right. Even, I don't want to go biblically now, but then, circumcised or uncircumcised, we are the same. We are free moral agents. I still don't see any reason why, because if you say you're trying to prevent promiscuity, for crying out loud, we still have young female child who still engage in sexual immorality.
Yes.
After being circumcised.
After being circumcised. So what is the essence of the cutting?
Eventually, it doesn't get achieve the aim that they.
There is no importance.
Yes, and my own question is, how does it affect her when she gets married?
What are the
Yes,
dangers?
She
and
able
then
to
perform.
enjoy like a regular woman that activity?
Yes. Now, this varies in your personality. Some people are emotionally unstable because of that. They just believe it causes severe pain. So imagine when you just lay a girl child down and then you cut her. Some are even grown up before they get caught. You understand? So,
Okay, so the side effect is pain.
The
The
pain.
pain doesn't stop.
emotional instability.
Yeah, it can cause
And then also
psychological
potential
damage.
health risk.
What are the health risks?
So the trauma from being cut.
Being
Because
cut.
sometimes
Yes.
you see the videos where they are cut, so everybody holds you down. You're screaming.
You're screaming, yes, you
and it's
understand.
really
So
ahead
it
of-
gets into your brain.
Yes, and that's very traumatic. You
Very,
know,
very
even,
traumatic.
You know, it can affect you for the rest of your life.
life.
You just keep imagining, things. They're trying to take something away from me, force things
We've
from
had
me.
a doctor once on this topic where she was explaining that, certain gynecological consequences happen to them later in life during childbirth, and they develop certain other issues. How prevalent are these days? In fact, in your advocacy, do you have people who suffered those things talk to parents of such girls?
The founder is a victim. Yes, and I'm sure if I would ask you all, you could be a victim of this female genital mutilation.
So you are.
No,
Is it your family's intention, or just they don't just do
they
it?
don't do it in their
Parents.
family.
Okay,
I didn't
so
even
the
hear
thing now
about
is
it.
while among the lucky few whose parents were able to say we don't want to do this, or we were in a society where it wasn't accepted.
Okay.
But some people, the parents are under pressure to do this.
Yes.
So have you seen education playing a role? Educated parents being able to say no to this culture? Do you think that if we enlighten the parents more on the side effects, would it be able to converse, contradict the strong cultural influence of doing this?
Yes, and that is why the Initiative for Girls' Rights and Health Development is on now.
What do you do?
Yes, it is basically to give us comprehensive sexual education.
Okay.
So instead of mutilating, we just educate them so they can make informed choices for themselves. Okay, I don't want to do this. This is the consequences if I do this. This is the consequences if I do that. So you just make your informed choices. You don't need to indulge yourself in any frivolity once you know, once you're informed, once you're educated. And that's the essence of Initiative Girls' Rights and Health Development.
Okay, please, can I ask that? Is it possible to educate the parents? Because you're talking about educating the girls themselves now.
Yes.
Telling them what you want to do. But the parents, do we need to educate them, visit them, this rural area, like what you're doing to your children are bad,
We started the sensitization with the community stakeholders.
Okay, great.
Traditional rulers and some religious leaders. In fact, we were able to attract the interest of the Oni of Ife, Oba Ade Ogunwusi. So, and you understand? So he's even a traditional person. So if we could be interested in that, then it is totally unaccepted.
So I wanted to talk about culturally, in my own community in Edo, yes, girls used to be genitally mutilated. It was culture. But my parents did the reverse for their 4 girls. Okay. And growing up, I found out after marriage that they still had that culture. So I was invited to get mine done. I then questioned and got information that it wasn't about the mutilation itself. It's about the ceremony that used to be around the mutilation. So largely it's been copped.
So you're saying your own community has started to do the ceremony without the mutilation?
Yes. So the ceremony for every girl, woman married, pregnant, because usually when you're pregnant, they still have that ceremony where rappers are done and all that. I feel that itself should be stopped. I wanted to know if you've come across such findings where they don't do it, but they still do the ceremony, so that it's still promoting the mutilation
they
itself.
are celebrating, but the girl is in pain.
The girl, no. Usually they don't do that anymore.
Okay.
So she just goes into seclusion and then comes out with a few women dancing and all that other ceremony around it. So what are you doing for communities like that still promote what they don't do, to the extent that people still trust that it's
and
right?
What we're doing presently is just to keep sensitizing people. We're not done yet. Okay. Because for crying out loud, Africa has the largest percentage, and majorly in Nigeria.
So why is this most prevalent?
Like I said, Africa has the major percentage. Nigeria has the largest percentage. Then Osun State in Nigeria has the largest percentage.
Based on data?
Based on data research.
Okay, so now, how are you engaging people? This is their business. There's some women that their livelihood comes from doing this. I watched a documentary about the facial tribal marks and how they had to engage those people that do this. And I also watched in that interview that some of the people that do the traditional tribal marks are the ones that do the mutilation also. Yes. And it is passed on from generation to generation. So there are four fathers. That is their means of livelihood. That's their quarters. So how do we now engage these people into another stream of income so that they will no longer depend? Because if you take all the girls away from them, how would the next generation have a livelihood?
Start costing us.
Yes.
So what is the plan to engage those people into, if they don't have any quarters, they probably wouldn't do it?
Yes. All right, so that is why education is very important. Yes. Well, I wouldn't want to say these people are not educated.
Most likely they are not.
Most likely they are not. But then I don't want to say that. But then I believe with education, at least they can get something done for themselves.
So I just want to ask, this advocacy has been going on for many years. I would like to know, do you think that there's a reduction or there's a fall in the number of people who are doing this, and there's an increase in people who are aware of it? So maybe 10 years ago, is it better these days, or do you think it's just as it used to be?
Okay, ever since Initiative for Girls' Rights and Health Development came on board, that was 2015, that's like 5 years ago, yes. So we've been able to at least reduce, especially, I said earlier that Osun State has the highest percentage, and so we have our office there in Osun State, Ile-Ife precisely, just to tackle it from the source, from that angle. So once we're able to overcome that aspect, then I'm sure we're good to go.
Yeah, well done.
Okay, so we're rounding off this segment. I'll take one tweet and then let you have the final word concerning this.
So, okay, no,
no, don't tweet on this.
Yeah, no tweets on this, just on
So final words to everybody watching. Today marks this day. This day, everybody should be talking about it. We did the same for cancer on Tuesday, and everybody was tweeting, and I made sure I tweeted about it, and I posted it on social media. But I think every woman watching right now, and every man, you're born of a woman, should also show support today by protecting girls and tweeting about this, posting about this, and all of that, so that we generate more awareness concerning this.
Yes, and actually, I didn't mention earlier that it's the International Zero Tolerance for FGM. So presently in Ile-Ife, there's a conference going on to celebrate that.
Today?
Yes, today. I'm supposed to be there, but I have to be here for some other purpose. Okay, all right. So on behalf of the founder and the executive director, Ayodeji Bello, the Board of Trustees and the general members, represent to you this award.
Wow.
Yeah, the award.
Hey, can I read it?
For award of honor for your support in campaigning for End FGM, that is female genital mutilation, for your encouragement, for your support thus far. We are really grateful. really grateful, and I hope it doesn't stop here.
Thank you so much for recognizing the effort. We're all about supporting, the entire show is all about supporting right values, good governance, protecting women and everybody that is weak. So thank you so much for acknowledging the effort that this show is putting on for the past few years.
Thank you too.
Thank you, we really appreciate it. Like I said earlier, let us do what we can to support today, get the awareness out, get everybody talking about the fact that today is zero tolerance for female genital mutilation. And that's what we can take on this segment. When we return, we'll delve into some other topics. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back to the show. A woman took to social media to rant about how her husband, who refused to give her a car, even one of his 2 cars to transport herself to work, now wants the new car she just got from her office due to a promotion. What do you think she did? Is she contemplating giving him the car? Would you agree she gives him the car? Or would you say she should sit down in the car, have her husband drive an old car while she's driving a brand new car? What are your thoughts on this? Join the conversation by calling us on 070-8066-8014, or you could tweet to us at TVC Connect so we could read your tweet, #YourViewTVC. So I'll start with the therapist, because people will be saying, yeah, the ones that deal with family issues, and this thing can cause family issues.
Yes, it can.
I know someone that didn't take her official car from the office that was given to her at promotion because she knew if she gets home, it would become a problem. She didn't collect the car for 2 years. By promotion, she was supposed to get like a really big SUV. And she was in the house. Everybody was driving tuke
Kind of car.
Toyota, no, it's not Toyota. Tokumbo car. It's not brand new. It's not even close to it. So she said if she brings that car home, it will cause problems within the household. How would you? Where do you stand on this? Let's first start with that. And then from the therapist side, if you're supposed to talk to this woman as a counselor, what would you say?
First of all, what is a car? You know, let's even start with that. What is a car? You know, it shows how much, you know, importance or value we place on material things.
That's it too.
You understand? Like, what is a car? Something that you take to work. So a husband must use something, the wife must use something lesser. Who brought that law? Where did it start from?
Car is a
Because
status
for
symbol.
some people that I know, I think the eastern states, now I'm not particularly sure, the husbands are the one, they take care of, their wives are seen as trophy wives. So they give their wives, the best of the best, while the man may even be suffering. So why would, and that's not a
The
bad
man is
thing.
on a bike, the woman is driving a brand new car.
Exactly. So I'm even shocked.
For traffic now.
You know, that in NLP, they'll tell you that how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if a man is depriving the woman of something good, luxurious, that will help her, help his kids, help his wife, you know, the man is not even seeing the woman as his extension. That's where the problem starts from. If you see your wife as your extension, the extension of who you are, you want to give her something good. But for the woman, first of all, I will ask you, what do you want from life? What do you want from your marriage? Because we need to, first of all, go back to how that marriage started. Some people come to me and say, my husband did this, I want to leave, you can't. I'll say, madam, calm down, calm down. But first of all, how did you start this marriage? That's where it starts from. So how did you initiate this marriage? What were you tolerating? What were the things you were doing? So you cannot just come back after 9 months or 3 years and say, now I am now independent and I want to turn around. If you want to do that, if you want to do that, you would have a proper conversation, and the other person too must buy in, you know, and then you will know what to do. But there's no one size fits all. That's just what I want to say.
My own take is that I hope, when I read the story, I hope that when we pick our partners, we pick our friends, we pick people who are decent, people who are kind, and people who are considerate. I mean, even if that person does not, when you date and when you meet people and interact with people, I hope those are the sort of things that you look out for in human beings. So that even if you don't end up with that person, surround yourself with people like that. Because when you get into marriages, things happen, but the core of the person still remains. So the person, in whatever decision the person will take, the person will still be kind, the person will still be decent, you know. So I don't understand how, because listening to this, first of all, the first situation is that you had 2 cars and that woman could not use either to go to work. How much do you hate her? How much you don't want her to be a part of your life? How much is it that you like to see her suffer? And what does that do to you as the husband and as her protector, as her family member. I don't get it.
Traumatizing to even think that women go through
So,
this.
Yes.
So
Women
to
do.
see that you've
A lot
done
of
that,
women do.
and maybe somebody may argue that it's your right, after all, they're your cars. Then she gets her car. And
you
she's
have the right
not
to ask.
allowed to use them, or she's supposed to give you the new. I'm like, who are you? Who are these people? Where do they
Where is
come
it
from?
coming
What
from?
kind of upbringing do you have? What trauma have you gone through in your childhood that is making you act like this and do this to another human being? I just pray that people, male or female, find a partner that will build you, find a partner that will push you, find a partner that will help you grow.
Yes.
Don't be with someone that will break you. I mean, something
Someone that
as
is
tiny as a
enslaving
car.
you.
Yes.
Nima,
so-
Nima, this is not shocking to you because I know you've said
I'm
more
tired.
horrible stories
Than
than this. But
So if I wanted to say anything, I'd say to the lady, you allowed it.
Yeah.
So you let people treat you the way they treat you. If they treat you ways that you don't want, you either don't take it or you take it, the one that you like. So the fact that they had 2 cars in the house and she didn't use any of them means that, maybe she doesn't need a car. Biking is good for her. She doesn't want to sit in traffic because whoever drives the car is best. In my house now, my husband doesn't drive his own car anymore. And I'm the only one that drives, so I'm the one who sits in traffic. So that's the way it works. So whatever works for you, fine. I don't want to go into their marriage too much, but I think she allows what happens. Now, to the point where you get an official car, and then you still allow the way you're treated happen, then you as a woman needs counseling yourself.
Yes.
You know, sometimes when you get
It's a
beaten, some people just sit
self-esteem
down and allow the beating.
Nima, if she
But it's
doesn't allow
improper.
it, so if it's the woman can be in the marriage and say, well, it's not my car. When my own car comes, I will drive my own car. She can say that this man
No,
has a
Tope,
right to
no,
say,
no,
it's
no.
not my car. The 2 cars are not mine. And I give it to him. But when and she will allow it because she loves the man. Maybe the man might be temperamental.
No, Tope.
I'll leave you with your car. When my own comes, I'll drive
I
it.
will drive it.
When the foundation is already bad, Nima.
Let me
If
say
somebody
this
has
for the
already
last time.
allowed it, how
Actually,
can she now
No,
correct
this is
it at that
So
point?
you get up and fight. This is a woman whose husband has not allowed her use a car because maybe it's not her car. That's wrong. In marriage, once you enter marriage, you are not squatting in your house. I know someone we're dealing with now whose husband feels okay locking her out of the house and saying that she came to take her things and he needs to do a video.
So that is really annoying. Let's talk about that.
She's not
Because
squatting. Hold on,
men
Tope,
that
let me
feel
just
the woman
land the
is their
point.
property and everything they have is theirs.
She's not squatting in her own home. If she needed to squat, she'd remain in her father's home.
house.
So please honor her and let her honor you in return. It's what you bring that you get. Then number 2, when you've earned something, if you have worked for it and you've earned it, please feel free to enjoy it. That's it. That woman didn't own the car in the house, but she has earned her official car. See, if the marriage will break, enjoy your car. That's the basis, because you will end up not enjoying your house. You will not enjoy what you're working. You might not even enjoy your children.
Yes.
Some people go through childbirth, pregnancy issues,
they are
and the husband
promoting
say
divorce.
to her,
No.
you didn't
A
come
little
to
compromise will go a long
Tope,
way.
wait.
What's the
What
big
about
deal in
promoting
giving your
divorce?
husband the
No,
brand new
please.
car?
Please, let's not
Are you
misinform
serious?
women.
She should give the husband
we've
her
allowed-
own car.
Some women have done this. Some women have have bought new cars and given it to their husband to drive
Hold on a
in the house. They've done it and they've been married for 30, 40
There's a
years.
song-
So, but
They
how
have
are
children
they feeling?
happy.
How are
and
they feeling in that 30, 40 years?
are you sure that
Some
this
people
our
are
overfeeling? I want to be
dying.
happy. I want to be happy. Is not why we're having more people divorced.
Hold on. Can I just say this? Obe sang about it, that there's no way to please humans.
Yes.
Kò sọ́gbọ́n tó lè dá, táyé máa fi tẹ́ lọ́rùn. So there's really no way. So you do what way works for you. Now let me quickly just explain.
selfish.
If you buy a car and your car is big, and you looked at her, my boss, I just want my husband to look good. My auntie did it, God bless her husband, so she gave the good car to her husband, but she didn't give her official car to him. Our
Let's take
official
this
car
call.
is our official car. Please,
Let's take
Oga.
this call. Welcome to the show. Good morning, Eniola. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Akiola.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please go ahead with your contribution. Good morning.
Okay. Yes, I am first-time caller.
Oh, welcome to the show.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sister Tope. How is your family?
Very good,
And,
thank you.
everybody there.
Thank you.
Simply contribute to this topic of a greedy man that has two cars and he cannot release one to his wife. But you know they say two wrongs cannot make a right.
Sure.
I want the wife to please to politely tell the man Well, I am not as greedy as you are, but I will want her to please give the car to the husband, so that she will prove to the husband that she is more
She's a
godly.
kind person.
Because if the husband has been going, if the husband is godly enough, having two cars and he cannot give one to his wife, I don't see that he's a good and a responsible man. So that is just.
Thank you, Enola. Enola is saying that this man is not responsible. The man is a greedy man, but the woman should take the higher road. Two wrongs don't make a right. And you see, a lot of times, marriage just break down because the people cannot find a point to compromise. We can't find that middle ground where somebody will decide that, okay, you have been cheating me, I will allow it. And this
So this is the official car.
This butting
didn't buy the car.
No, this man is
and
saying...
there are many people with this school of thought that when women butt heads against their husband, the marriage breaks up. But when women are willing to submit and, you know, submit yourself, submit your car, submit your life,
So Akiola is
the
saying
marriage will
the
last
woman
longer.
should enable the irresponsibility of the man. Because that's what I picked from what he said. We've known that the man is greedy, he's irresponsible, but let's continue to enable it so
Maybe
that we
we
can
change.
have, you know,
Peace would
meanwhile,
reign.
peace, what peace is relative? Peace for who?
Peace for the
Peace
house.
for who? For whose house? It's both of their houses.
Mariam.
Yeah, so I understand making a compromise in marriage. And there was something you said earlier about, you know, and I say it all the time, the way you behave for little things is how you behave for big things. So I always say this, see, my husband likes to work out. And sometimes when we don't have any help, in the mornings, I'll have to get up and still get everybody ready, but he will do that, his workout, and come back. But my husband, in so many other things, is not selfish in that way, but he's selfish with his workout. And I can compromise on that because I know in many ways he would make up for it.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So, so the core of the matter, so in her own case, it involved her almost suffering to, you know.
So what of
when
if
he
he's
took
unselfish in other
listen,
areas?
that's it. With the cars, he took. That's why I was saying with the two cars, she could have said to him, "See, I understand they are your cars, and I will not touch them. You own them. You paid for them. But to now take away the one that she has." Because it does not make him look good or it's not good enough for him. That I don't understand. And it shows to me that if you were to check someone like that, his selfishness will show in so many other ways.
Do you
What
know
about
that you are
relatives?
teaching the children?
What about the impact of relatives? So let's say that this man even has no issue. Let's even leave this story and go to a case where a woman gets a brand new car and the husband's car is imported, those fairly used cars. And we have the case of family members saying, how can you as a woman be driving this kind of big car in this house and your husband is driving a very small car? What do you think? Who do you think you are? And we need to address this because it is happening. There are family members that will come to your house and call a meeting and the woman would kneel down. And I've heard this story. The woman knelt down and is having them talk to her, saying that she's selfish for not giving her husband the better car. This culture is still ongoing in these modern times in Nigeria. How do we address and deal with that kind of situation?
And that's why we always have this conversation.
So, but what
I
is the
agree
man
that
saying?
I agree that things like that used to happen. So I need us to also update our information when we talk. Yes, we have a culture where of patriarchy, and you have relatives that come, but things are changing. It's not as bad as it used to be. And what has made it change? People are conversing, people are talking about it, people are speaking out. Women are not silent anymore. Then your children are going off to get married. Where you were an in-law before, now it's your own child involved, and then you see things differently. And because of that, we're growing. We're changing our behavior.
You believe we're changing
I do. I definitely believe that we're changing our behavior. We're not as wicked as we used to be.
There's still some.
I'll come back to you, Nima, after this break. We'll take this short break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. The conversation has been heated even during the break. So the issues around, and I'm coming to Nima, the issues around men that feel, and they've been brought up in this patriarchal society, entitled to the fact that they must be served and they own. and they own the women, they own everything. So they'll be like, there's this statement, a Yoruba statement that, "Entoba neru, lo leru." That means if I own a slave, I own everything the slave has. And that's the same mentality bringing to marriage. So I own my wife and I own everything my wife has. How have you, and I know that I'm beginning to, because I know you've dealt with many cases of divorce, and this is very apparent in some of them, and we need to shed light on this situation. How can we change this mindset of seeing women as properties and things people own?
So what I see most often is women who are afraid to have this conversation on issues like this. They usually think, I just rather not have this conversation. So I say, whether the voice rises or the voice is low, this conversation just has to happen. My mentor, Ini Abimbola, says one thing. She says that the issues that you silently leave and think have actually not been dealt with, there is sitting time bomb. They will eventually cause a problem. But when you address issues, you grow over those issues. When they come, both of you as a couple know what to face with those issues. That's what I always say to them. So most women will say, we've not talked about it, but you know, he's not open to that kind of conversation. But even if he doesn't want to have that conversation, find a way to make it happen so that he doesn't claim not to know how it affects you. It's very important.
Let me come to our in-house therapist. I am mentoring a relationship. They are single, they're about to get married. And I was asking, I'm talking to the girl, and I said, talk to your husband to be your fiancé, about, ask him if family needs come up, who is going to send the money to the family? Does he believe the wife should be aware of every money he's sending to his relatives? That international said, I don't want to ask that kind of question. We've not even gotten married yet. I said, that is the more reason you should have that conversation now. Just to get a feel of what he's thinking. So how do you think people should broach this kind of conversation, especially when they're already married and they've already made the mistake of not having that conversation for the past maybe 3-4 years of marriage, and now they are feeling the impact. They are wondering, am I going to continue like this for the rest of my life?
Yes.
What do they do?
That's actually what causes divorce. When people think, is this how I'm going to live forever? Is this how I'm going to die? So what people need to do, first of all, before you have that conversation, check your husband's or wife's family structure. Check the dad, check the parents, how are they? Because we learn from childhood. This is what is prevalent in their home. This is how they raise this man to be. This is what this means for this man. Because you don't just, you want to fight. You know now, women were like that. Somebody's, I just want to fight. But before you fight, you need to understand who you are fighting with. Why is this person behaving this way? So I counsel and I coach a lot of women, married women, that if you come, you don't want your home to break, but you want to be free. You want to, first of all, we need to understand, we need to profile your husband. Who is he? How was he raised? How does he react to things like this? What does things like this mean for him? What does a car mean for him? What does him having 2 cars over you mean for him? If you understand all of this, you'll be able to approach him. That is not, for instance, a man that thinks that having 2 cars means I have control. If you have a finer car, it means you're the head. You can control me anyhow. You can tell him that I'm not trying to control you. This is the reason. So you don't just approach issues on the surface. There's a deeper meaning to everything people do. Somebody who, it's not normal to just say, I want 2 cars to myself.
So let me ask Mariam a straightforward question. If you found yourself in this kind of situation, or let's say your younger sister is in this situation where her husband dealt with her over a period of time with 2 cars, didn't give her any ride, and now she has a car and the man is asking for that car, what would you do, or what would you tell your sister to do?
Why would you put me in this position? See, there's something my mom always says, which is, have yours. So, and then what I would tell my sister, what we always discuss in my family, is that no matter who you're with, where you are, try and have yours. You need to find something to fall back on, because my mom found herself in a situation where she had to fall back on what she had after losing her husband, because everything was taken away from her. She used to also make fun. She would say, even the bicycles in the house, your tiny tricycles, were taken away. Thank God I had nothing. So you must always have yours. But I would not understand how now you have yours and it's taken away from you. For me, there's no...
Keep it.
To keep her...
To keep her car.
Of course, she must keep her car.
So you would say, keep your car?
Oh, of course.
Even if that might lead to divorce?
Oh, well, let's see what happens then. Then we'll watch what happens. Then he will choose. Then now the ball in his court, he decides what he wants to do.
You see, that's why men prefer women that don't have money.
Yes.
And women that are not working.
Yes.
Because for them, it makes them feel like...
I don't prefer women that are not working.
No, because I was having a conversation with someone yesterday and said, this is what it feels like to be God. You don't have another choice, so you're begging me. So I was asking favor from someone, and because I've tried, and I can't be proud. I have pride, man. Even some of my customers were like, I had to get review for that, and they said, Takwa, you're very arrogant. And I didn't think I was. I used to think I was very humble. But if you try to do me a favor and rub it in my face, I'll walk away from it. Take it, keep it. And that's always been my attitude, but that's pride. And you can't bring that into marriage. You can't bring that into... So it was not saying that I know you, if you didn't need me, you would have walked away. But because you need me, I'm now rubbing it in. Sometimes it might just be the ego of the man trying to say, I want to feel needed. I want to feel I'm in charge. And giving that man that car might just make a big difference in keeping that marriage.
Not with the record. Not with the record. It's the record that is the problem. As I am now, if I have car, I can quickly zip, take car. I will give him. I will give him everything. That's my dream right now. But that's because of the record. He's giving me so much that I would give him without blinking. But if the record is that he's grabbing, the first opportunity, I'm grab.
Even your religion.
See, Tokwe, you know, I looked at this story and I invoked traditional ways of dealing with it. If my husband was this greedy, I would invoke my brothers. Because I remember on my traditional day, they were telling him, look the house where we get brothers, we go defend them. They will show up and come and collect key from his hand if he try himself, and I will be driving my car very well. Yes.
We have a call from someone from Marital has called into the show. Good morning. Hassan, welcome to the show.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, please, I want to contribute to the ongoing program.
Go ahead, please.
Now, please listen to me attentively.
100%.
Hello?
Yes, I go on.
We can hear you.
You see, there are so many things that cannot be said, but are in the mind. And you should understand the difference between a personal car and an official car. Now, official car is a temporary thing. The woman might be considering the fact that if I bring home this car and eventually I quit the job or I was sacked and the car is retrieved, what will be the position at home? But if it is a personal car that she bought personally or bought for her personally, she knows that whether being new or old, is still has. So these things will be at the back of the woman that cannot allow something that is permanent, that is not permanent, to ruin my permanent life.
Should she give her husband the car?
No.
Should she give her husband the car? Oh, we lost it.
Okay, I didn't understand what he
he was saying he was trying to compare that it was an official car, it belongs to the office.
Yes,
and it could be taken away.
I thought it was going there until
I was thinking it's going to
temporary
over permanent.
He's just trying to use, you know, the subtle ways to
say
give him the car. And there's no car that is actually permanent. Anything can happen.
My father says it's not a luxury, it's a necessity.
It's not an asset that is permanent.
Nima, we haven't really answered this question of how to deal and how to deal with men that see women as their property. And I like the fact that you went to brothers. Sadly, I don't have any sibling that I can say, come and fight for me.
No, but my brothers, I have only one. When I say brothers, I mean my cousins and my uncle. Yeah. They were present, they were showing him. And if you see these, my brothers, they
are very huge and muscular. There's also the challenge of don't involve your family members in issues going on within the house.
No, see, that thing is a fraud. That's true. As long as your marriage is rosy and you have little issues, please keep it at home. But please don't keep something that is killing you at home. So recently, I'm dealing with a woman whose mother-in-law thinks, you're a stupid woman. All the things that we do for you, you tell your parents. She's having trying pregnancies. She has ulcer. She's dying. She's suffering through pregnancies. She's not getting the help at home. She's refused to ask for the help from her mother. She should suffer to death.
She should have actually...
Please, it's not everything, though. That thing is a fraud, though. Simple things. You can tell only husband. But when it's serious and you need help...
Discuss with your family members.
Let help come from wherever it can come.
We'll
even
take
if
this
it's your
call.
neighbor.
We'll take this call from Shola. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. What I want to say is that when you go and look at the history of that man, he must have been a man that was brought up in a very cruel way. And this issue should stop. We need to train our children to make us realize that our wife is part of us. I have similar issue with a neighbor in Ibadan. And the man was insisting that this woman trekked for 2 years or more than a year going to work, and this man was insisting that the woman invariably bought a car, and he never knew the woman can buy that type of a brand of a car. The man insisted the vehicle will not enter the compound. The woman made up her mind that, well, she will go and be parking the vehicle with neighbors. She never gave up. And the son equally said, look, if that vehicle will not enter that house, I will never enter that house again. So the entire family, the children, even the woman, she took her stand. So in this kind of case, you can see that that man that is making a decision is a very wicked man.
Okay,
so if he loves his wife,
what do we
he will
do
never have done that. And the Bible says, he that loveth his wife, loveth his own place. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What do we do when we've married wicked men? You know, what do we do when we married a wicked person? Because it now becomes, I see that woman make that kind of decision, and I'm like, that marriage is over. Because by the time you start dividing, I'm not going to enter the house, where's the place of compromise? Because our mothers compromised. You might think they were not happy, but they get old and they have peace of mind. No, but now our women are just going for divorce. Every small thing, they just leave their house. I'm going to move on because you have a job. I can take care of my children. And you walk out of a marriage that you could have compromised a bit, and you still have a home.
You started divorce is better than stabbing your husband to death. Because that is what people are doing these days now.
Even those days.
People, even though, you know, because you know that you cannot live.
Yes.
Nobody, and you know, you are in pain. That's why I'm saying, keeping peace. What is peace? Is relative.
Yes,
that peace is relative to the man, to the woman. Somebody is bottling it. Somebody is bottling it. Somebody is bottling it. One day she snaps and then stabs the person 38 times. And it's emotional hijack. And you're wondering, how could somebody do this? It's not that day. It's not normal. It has been piled up for 25
we should walk away from that marriage. How about going for counseling or going to therapy sessions together?
I recommend couples therapy, but people don't talk about that in
Couples
Nigeria.
don't go therapy.
Couples
We'll
therapy.
talk more about couples therapy and options available if you've already married a wicked person.
Yes.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So before we went on the break, we discussed one angle. The person who is already married to a wicked man or a wicked spouse, let's put it that way. And I also want us, before we round off, to talk about how to spot someone that will be a potentially wicked spouse. So I'll throw it to the therapist we have in the studio. Please help us to give these final words as an advice to those already in that kind of marriage where their spouse is actually a wicked person. What can they do?
Okay, firstly, you need to check what is most important to you. Because that's what we ask when you come to the office. You know, my husband is treating me. Which one is important to you? What's the most important thing to you? Is it the marriage? You know, if you want to stay in the marriage, okay, how can we, first of all, go to couples therapy? It is very important. It is not for people that are mad. Go to couples therapy. And also for people who, you said people who want to get married,
dating.
First of all, you need to check how that man or woman treats other people. People who are less privileged, who cannot do anything about, you know, who cannot do anything to hurt him. You need to check how he treats them. And then little things, you know, if he buys you something or you guys fight, does he collect the things back? Does he say, I own you? Or how he relates generally with people. And then check his family. His upbringing is very important.
How his parents relate with each other.
Yes, fantastic.
Some tweets.
Yes.
So Ademola JR says, I don't think it's appropriate, but I feel that the man must have felt inferior to do that. The reality in our society is that women do not like to look bigger than their husbands, which make men brag and manipulate things. Many things are hidden in African homes.
On that note, we'll round off the show today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to tweet and drop a message on social media to raise awareness. For today is zero tolerance of female genital mutilation. And most importantly, watch out for wicked spouses and go to couples therapy if you are in a relationship with a wicked spouse. Thanks for staying with us all through the show. See you tomorrow. Bye.